Hello, I'm Daniel. This is a talk from the Maxims of Master Shan, or the teachings of Silly Mountain. And this is about our attachment to things. So, here it is. What is the best way to sever our attachment to material things? First, we need a good, sharp sword, a sword of discrimination. One that cuts through appearance to expose the real. We begin by making a point of noticing how quickly we become dissatisfied with material things and how soon our sensory pleasures also fade into discontent. With persistent awareness, we sharpen and hone this sword. Before long, we find that we seldom have to use it. We've cut down all old desires and new ones don't dare to bother us. So, in case that's incredibly unclear, this is a metaphor. Sword of discrimination is a metaphor. It's just we're thinking of our mind, our clarity, as a sword that cuts through the baggage and the delusion and the nonsense. A sword that cuts through it, okay? We are endlessly attached to things. We're also so often disappointed. We get the things we want and they're not what we expected. Or we cling to things that don't last. We spend so much time wishing for things that we don't have, and the truth is that sometimes we get everything we want and we're still not happy, right? So what do? The sword of discrimination is a common metaphor in Buddhism. There's a figure called Manjushri, the Bodhisattva of wisdom, and I don't want to get hung up on him. There are these archetypal figures that we can think about and sort of emulate, and that doesn't mean they literally exist, because I am of the opinion they don't. But some people are of the opinion that they do, and that's okay. I don't have a Manjushri statue, but I do have a statue of Guanyin, sometimes called Avalokiteshvara. It's the Bodhisattva of compassion. I do have this one here on my shrine. I don't have it in Manjushri, but I think I would like one. But anyway, compassion. This is compassion. But Manjushri is the Bodhisattva of wisdom. And he represents wisdom, and he's said to have a giant flaming sword. So like statues of him, he's holding a sword and it's on fire. And this is called the sword that cuts through ignorance. The sword that cuts through ignorance. We can sort of understand this metaphor when we think of the way we might say someone has a sharp focus or a sharp mind, right? It's the same thing. It's not literally sharp, but we can think about sort of cutting away the nonsense and getting to what's real. Authenticity is found by cutting away the falseness. Cutting away the falseness. That's what we're talking about here. A sharp mind, focus, mindfulness, awareness, these things are important. And we want to train our minds so that our awareness is sharp, like a good sword, or even like a flaming sword, not dull, like a bad sword, and not like a stick, but like a sword. Like there are delusions, I'm cutting through them, right? And if our minds are sharp, then we can cut through our baggage, our ignorance, our emotional baggage and our ignorance. We can cut through those. We can cut away the things that don't serve us. We can put them aside. We can see around them. We can get through them. We can put them aside. Because when we cut away our delusions, we can be in the world as we really are. When we cut away our delusions, we can be in the world as we really are. The Buddhist teaching, our teaching, is that beneath our delusions and our ignorance and our baggage, we are awake. Our true nature is awake and good, and we just have to get through the baggage we're carrying, the things stopping us from getting in the way. Stopping us from seeing who we truly are, getting in the way. What we talk about a concept called the three poisons. That is greed, hatred, and delusion. We are obsessed with obtaining things, and that gets in the way of us seeing our true nature. We're obsessed with getting away from things we don't like. That gets in the way of seeing our true nature. And then ignorance is just really not knowing the difference. Really not knowing the difference. So that is where we are. We are held back by the three poisons, and with the sharp mind, we can cut through it. Or a sword of discrimination. Discrimination, that's a loaded word, right? It means a lot of things. But in this context, it means seeing what is useful and what is not useful, what helps and what doesn't help, and cutting away the things that don't help. I'm discriminating between what helps and what doesn't help. Maybe discrimination's not that good of a word, right? What if we changed it to sword of clarity? Well, that'd be better, wouldn't it? So I'm going to change it. I just did. We're going to use the sword of clarity to cut through our delusions, to cut through our inability to see things clearly. The sword of clarity frees us so we can be in our true self. Sword of clarity. Or the sword of wisdom. I like it a lot. So, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about just cutting away the things that don't serve you. Because the truth is that we're carrying a lot of baggage that gets in our way. We have preconceived notions about everything. We have emotional baggage, and we can put that aside and be in the world more fully. And that's a good thing for us to do. So that's it for today. Sword of clarity. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. Have a good day.